Welcome to Up to the Minute. It's Monday, June the 21st. You know, we had a bit of an unexpected but very welcomed holiday on Friday. Of course, the Friday was a new national holiday and a holiday for us at HCCTV in commemorance of Juneteenth. So we appreciate the holiday and the significance of that. We're glad to be here on this Monday with you. We've got a great show lined up for the next half hour. Your HCC news and information and more coming up. Raquel Sims is my co-host this morning. She joined us from the Fort Bend County area. Good morning, Raquel.
Good morning, Todd, and good morning to all of our guests here. I hope everyone had a great week. How are you doing today?
It's good. You know, it was a bit of an unexpected weekend, 3-day weekend. On Thursday late in the day, we got the notice from HCC that, hey, we're going to celebrate Juneteenth tomorrow and you'll have the day off. So that was very welcomed and nice to have this unexpected. You know, I hope they keep the holiday near a weekend so everyone can kind of move it into a 3-day weekend or commemorate it that way. But we'll see how it works out. But it was nice, though, Raquel.
I completely agree with you. And also, if you aren't doing so already, please follow us on all of our social media platforms so that you can share this Up to the Minute podcast and keep up to date with all of our latest features.
That's right. Okay, you can find us at Houston Community College District across all social media platforms, including YouTube. Okay, here we are. We've got a half hour of your news and information, 2 special guests. One of them we know very well around here at HCC, Caio de Aragon Cruz. He is an HCCTV editor and videographer. Plus, he's a student here, and he's a Telly Award winner. Hey, Caio, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So good to be here and as a guest.
Yeah, you're not the host today. You're a guest. So as a guest, you know the routine. We're going to be with you shortly. So stick around. We'll check in with you in a few moments. We're going to kick things off with the training director of Harris County's Domestic Violence Coordinating Council it's our Mental Health Monday guest. Please welcome Thecia Jenkins to the show. Good morning to you, Thecia. How are you? We can get you to unmute your mic. Just hit that button on the bottom left. There we go.
Good
How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm well, and thank you so much, Todd and Raquel, for the opportunity to be with you today.
We're glad to have you with us. We want to talk about an explanation of the Harris County Domestic Violence Coordinating Council. Tell us your functions as this council.
Awesome. Well, the Harris County Domestic Violence Coordinating Council is a nonprofit. We are not affiliated with Harris County, so we're not a part of Harris County. That's just our name. And we are what's considered a coordinated community response. And what that means is that we work within Houston and surrounding Harris County to bring systems together, and systems being law enforcement, the judicial system, education, corporate, media, faith-based social services, all of those systems working together to ensure that survivors of domestic violence gain access and safety to services, hold batterers accountable, and to prevent homicides related to domestic violence.
I would imagine if someone is a survivor of domestic violence, they could come to you and you could point them in the right direction from the beginning, from getting medical or mental services to also helping them as this plays out in the judicial process.
Exactly. However, the real focus is on getting systems trained so that when she or he goes for their annual physical, that nurse, that physician is actually doing screening for domestic violence, that educator, whether they are teaching via Zoom or whether they're actually in the classroom, being able to pick up on the cues that child may be living in a home where there is domestic violence, because what we know is that approximately 10 million children every year witness violence in the home. So it's preparing systems to respond to individuals in the community.
You know, we've heard some troubling news over the last, 15, 16 months as people have been locked down. We've heard that domestic violence has gone up. Have you noticed that? Have you seen an increase across the Harris County area?
We have seen an increase. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. We've seen an increase, definitely throughout the pandemic.
What are some of the statistics now about domestic violence that you could share with us?
Well, what we know is that on a national basis, 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. That's 25% of all women across the country. 1 in 10 men will experience domestic violence. And here in Texas, it's actually 1 in 3 women will experience domestic violence. And on average, about 3 women every day are killed by an intimate partner. 3 women every day.
What some survivors choose to remain in an abusive relationship. Obviously, there are reasons ranging from across the board. I imagine financial to having children involved. What are some of the reasons that you're noticing with that?
Well, doing this work for 26 years, Todd, there's something we refer to as the power and control wheel, and I won't go through all 8 tactics used by an abuser that keep the survivor in that relationship, but you've alluded to 2 of them. One of those being children, that many times abusers will use the children in that relationship. And so the survivor will choose to stay because there is a fear of losing the child, that they may be threatened with deportation, that maybe the child was born here in the US and the survivor wasn't. And so they will choose to stay so that they can stay in contact with their children. Economic abuse. In fact, in 2019, in the legislative session, the fraud laws here were strengthened by something called economic coercion, because what we know is that 99% of survivors of domestic violence experience economic abuse in their relationship. And so that is another strategy that abusers use to gain power and control in a relationship that leave the survivor feeling as though they have no choice but to stay, not being able to work or losing jobs on a regular basis. And I want to be real clear about this, while I have this platform, is that when we think about the economic abuse and we think about domestic violence, we tend to think that domestic violence only impacts those who are caught up in generational poverty, or different communities. However, here is the reality that you can have someone who's making $100,000 plus a year, but they are being economically abused in the relationship. Why? Because the abuser sometimes is squandering the money in the relationship. They may actually have that person's check direct deposited to their account without the survivor being on that account, not having access to the PIN number, the account number. So you can have someone who is well educated, has an excellent job, however, does not have the economic means in which to leave the relationship. And then there is the verbal and emotional abuse, the constant berating, you're stupid, you're ugly, no one else is going to want you, you're too old. And that then attacks the survivor's mindset where they begin to believe, I can't move on. I'm too old to move on. I've never had a job. I don't look a certain way. So those are some of the reasons that she or he may choose to stay, Todd.
Do you find there are signs that are that you could maybe tell us about, that you talk with the agencies, things they should be looking for, some commonalities?
Well, again, going back to the economic abuse, there's someone who is gainfully employed, and yet, I've had nurses pull me aside and say, I work with this nurse and they never have the money to go out, or they don't have the money to do this. That could be a sign. A person who was once very engaged and, going to different activities, and now all of a sudden, maybe they don't go to church anymore. Maybe they don't show up at the family reunions anymore. They don't go out and hang out with their girlfriends or boyfriends anymore. That can be because of isolation in that relationship, or someone who may be even experiencing suicidal ideation. I worked for 5 years in a psychiatric facility, and hindsight being 2020, probably about 75% of the individuals who came into the hospital for suicide attempt had a history of domestic violence.
And I imagine that's when domestic violence, one of the ways it becomes lethal, not by the hands of the abuser, but by the victim themselves.
Yes, definitely. However, talking about that lethality piece, I'm so glad you brought that up. What we know is that when she or he decides to leave the abuser, and that they are 78% more at risk of being killed. So here again, it is the abuser that most often causes the homicide. Let me give you 3 incidents of lethality, and I know we may be short on time, but I want to go ahead and get this across. So 3 incidents that may be occurring in someone's relationship. Number 1, if someone has ever been strangled, if you have been strangled by your partner, that you are 7 times more likely to become a homicide victim. In 2019, there were 185 homicides in the state of Texas. The majority of those had a history of strangulation. So much so that our local law enforcement, Harris County Sheriff's Office and Houston Police Department have been trained when they go out to a domestic violence incident that they are to do a strangulation report. Okay, so if there is a history of strangulation, that is a sign that homicide could be imminent. Number two is if the survivor has left their partner more than one time within the course of 12 months, that may also increase lethality, because what we know is that the abuser wants power and control. And the fact that the survivor has left means that they are losing that control. Number three, if there is pregnancy. Yes, if there is pregnancy. When a woman becomes pregnant, she is more likely to be a homicide victim. Case in point, about the beginning of this year or the end of last year, the young woman who was stabbed multiple times by her husband, I believe she was in her second trimester. And in fact, there had actually been an order of protection because he had strangled the cat. So we've got strangulation, even though it was the pet. So those are three incidents that happen in an abusive relationship that can be a signal that this is a high risk domestic violence case. And to that end, part of the work that Harris County Domestic Violence Coordinating Council has done is we have been working collaboratively with the Harris County Sheriff's Office, Houston Police Department, and now have a new collaboration going on with Pasadena Police Department, where they have what's called high risk teams. High risk teams. And these are units within law enforcement agencies that specifically work with those survivors in which strangulation has occurred, where the person may be pregnant, where the abuser may have avoided quote unquote arrest. In other words, they were not there when law enforcement got there. And so there are special teams now that look at these cases because we know that these survivors are most at risk for homicide.
You bring up some very important points and some disturbing things that we all need to know more about. If people would like to know more about the Coordinating Council, where could they find you on the web and where can they find information?
They can simply go to HCD as in David, V as in Victor, CC.org. HCDVCC.org. And we have all of that information available. We also have downloads where people can get assistance with all the law enforcement agencies if they need counseling, children's services, and things of that nature.
Thecia Jenkins, Training Director for Harris County Domestic Violence Coordinating Council. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're going to put the link to your website in the social media post for this show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Raquel. Y'all have an amazing rest of the day.
You too. We are going to move on to one of our HCC family. Joining us now, Caio. You may know him as one of the co-hosts for this show. He joins us from time to time when he's kind of a busy guy. He's kind of a big deal too, because Caio is one of our students. He's an editor and videographer here at HCCTV. And most recently, he picked up a Bronze Telly Award. Caio, good morning again.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm so excited about all that. And honestly, I was surprised because you guys called me, hey, do you know? I was like, oh, no, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Now, I know a little bit about the story behind the video that you won the award for, but maybe you can tell us a bit about it.
Sure. So I got the Telly Award for the animation that I did for HCC. And during COVID times where we didn't have access to recording anything outside of our homes. So wow. I've never done animations before. So I thought that was a perfect time to even try. And I used a tool called Powtoon. And I came up with the video and I just, I was so surprised by the results. And even more once I got the Telly Award. It's like, wow, I can't believe it.
Well, we knew the video was something special. I mean, certainly we played it in social media. It was on our website, sent it out emails, and it was a great animated piece. So we entered it as an award. Caio picked that up, and it's called HCC Safe Learning Options. So check it out on our YouTube channel. Caio, you're from Brazil, and you came here to the U.S. to study business. What happened there?
That's correct. I actually did get my associate's degree in business. And, don't get me wrong. I really think business is essential for anything you're doing in life. But I was not satisfied. I felt like I can do so much more. And I have so much energy. I love to be moving, talking to people, doing shows. And I think it was going to be a waste if I use all my potential to just be locked down inside an office, in front of the computer. So I've been always really creative. So I knew I could do something else. So I started playing with my phone first, taking photos here and there. It's like, wow, I think I can do that. And my mom has been always really supportive, my father too, but my mom is really, she's an art professor. She's really creative. And she always gave me a lot of support. She's like, I think I've seen your photos, you take it with your phone and they look amazing. Same thing with your videos. I think you have a lot of potential, and no matter what you do, if you do it well, we're going to make money. It's like, okay, well, I need to give it a try. And that's when I went to HCC for the filmmaking program. And I learned a lot. I love it. And, and there you go. That's me again, now doing photography. Never stop studying.
And so you got one degree already, and now you're moving on another one in photography. He works for HCCTV, and he's still going to school, so he's still getting those credits. You also have been able to get a couple of scholarships, and maybe you can tell folks about that.
That's true, and that's a big surprise for me because for several years I've been trying to get a scholarship for the other school that I was before. And there was just none, especially when it comes to international students. That's something that's really hard to find. And as I don't know if you guys know that, but usually for international student, tuition is sometimes like 3 times the regular price for the other students. And then when it adds up the semester, it's a lot of money. So I found out that HCCTV had a scholarship, and who helped me was she helped me so much with that. And she guided me through it. And the way I got it was because first, you guys love me from HCCTV. I did a really good job and I did really cool videos. And they were like, wow, I think if there's a student that deserves this, it's you. And that's good because that's going to motivate the other students to keep doing good work and maybe even come work to HCCTV. You can get a scholarship, you see? And it's been helping me a lot to pay my tuition. Honestly, I don't even know if I would be here if it wasn't for this scholarship, or maybe could be back in Brazil. Good, who knows? So I'm really happy.
Well, you do great work here. I know another thing you do is you won some other awards besides the telly, because I know when you first, not long after you started with HCCTV, you've been here for a little while, and you got Filmmaking Student of the Year.
Yeah, that's correct. That was my first biggest achievement especially when it comes to school. Yeah, and it was funny because my family was watching from Brazil and they got so excited about it too. Like my whole family was sharing photos and commenting on group like, oh my God, look, this is my kid, So it's been really, really fulfilling for me, and I'm proud of myself. Which I was never like that. I never really believed too much how far could I go, and the more I try, the more I achieve, and that's such a good feeling.
Caio worked at the start of the Student Lounge, which is one of the shows we actually started during we started it last year during the shutdown. And that's been going on for the better part of 15, 16 months. You're also involved with a new project with one of our partners here at HCCTV, Backstage OL.
Yeah, this is another opportunity that popped up and I never believed. So Backstage OL, it's a company here from Houston. And what do? They do interviews with big movie stars, big streaming like Netflix, Hulu. So they do an interview about a movie that's about to come up. And what's really cool, they have access to premiere before the movie is even released. And they promise they're going to start taking us. So I'm so excited about that. So they watch the movie, they interview the people, and me and Carolina here from HCCTV, we've been editing those interviews. So the other day, I had an interview with Angelina Jolie, and I never thought in my head that I would be editing something.
Wait, you did the interview?
I actually, no, I wish. I edit, but I wish.
You did the interview, wow.
Yeah, but we're gonna get there. Who knows? If Dave likes me, he may be like, okay, come do an interview. I would love to do that. But just the fact that I'm in front of the computer, seeing that footage, of Angelina Jolie, and another good thing too, we had access to behind the scenes clips and things that no one have ever seen yet. So that's something that I was like, wow, so exciting, and definitely a great opportunity. And I think even for HCTV too, to have the association with Backstage OL is definitely gonna bring good things on on our future.
Yeah, so the pieces that Caio and Carolina work on, you'll actually see them. You can see them locally on Fox 26 because I know they play some of them, but we also have started showing them on HCCTV and sharing them in our social media as well. So when you see it on HCCTV or our social media, you'll know that Caio and Carolina helped put those together. Caio, all right, any other thing you want to update us on as Caio takes over the world?
Well, not yet. I just check my Instagrams, CAIO Aragon. I put a lot of my work there. You can see my stories too. I try to be funny sometimes, but you're definitely gonna have some fun. And I have a good plans coming up, but I'm not gonna say anything yet. No spoilers.
All right, no spoilers. All right, Caio. All right, always good seeing you. I imagine we'll probably get you back on here a few times, maybe co-hosting the show when he has time to do so. He's very busy these days. Thanks, Caio.
Sounds wonderful. Thanks so much, Todd. I see you.
All right, we are going to move on to Raquel, who is out in the Stafford-Fort Bend area. And Raquel, you got some news.
Yes, I have some news, but again, I just want to say congratulations to Caio again. Just hearing all of these wonderful accolades has just blown my mind. So congratulations to you again. And speaking of just awards and accolades, so there are two twins in Stafford, at Stafford High School on the tennis team, and they are phenomenal. They had the opportunity to go to the state UIL competition for Stafford High School tennis, and they managed to win the gold. They literally, it was like double jeopardy, and they were just amazing. And I've personally seen these two sisters practice, and I've done a player profile on them about a year and a half ago when they were freshmen, and they came in dominating across the board. And I found out that they have a little sister, so it's exciting to hear all of this good news about Stafford tennis. So that was great. Had a chance to speak with them, and they were just super sweet about it. Also, I had the opportunity to speak with Miss Marva Raspberry about all of these summer school initiatives that SMSD is offering for, starting at early childhood, leading all the way up to the high school, especially integrating their STEM magnet schools. So that's pretty cool. And it's exciting to see them getting back face-to-face and interactive with the students. And then also, Randall had a chance to speak with one of the leaders at the Houston Center for Contemporary Craft about their summer exhibition. And I won't spoil it too much. I'll let the video speak for itself. But this artist just poured out her passion in her work, and it really represented in so many different ways. So that's what's been going on our side. And if you aren't doing so already, please follow us on all of our social media platforms at HCC Stafford TV Studio. Thank you so much, Todd, for having me on to share the latest in Fort Bend County.
All right. Thanks, Raquel. Okay, across the district, HCC is having registration fairs. That's right, in-person registration fairs to get you signed up for the fall. We've got 20 plus admission and registration events from May through August, so they're ongoing right now. Plus, there's a chance to win some HCC swag, a $500 scholarship, or a laptop. The next one is Monday, June 21st. Today, as a matter of fact, it's ongoing right now, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the HCC Northeast Hub. It's happening right now. After the show, head over there and you can get signed up. This safe in-person event offers help with HCC admission applications, enrollment, and onboarding steps, choosing a program or major, some advising, also financial aid and payment options. You can get all that taken care of right there today at the Northeast College. So make sure you head out. We'll have some information in the social media post for the show. If you missed this one, there are others coming up all the way through August. Gallery Without Walls, that's happening right now as well, Raquel.
Yes, since campus art galleries are closed, just HCC has always come up with unique ways to just still provide these events for students. So student artists from all HCC colleges are showing their spring semester work on Instagram again, you all. The non-juried exhibition features studio classes from the entire system, and it is on Instagram now. It is at HCC_visual_arts. Please go check their artwork out. No registration is required. For information, please contact Catherine.fields@hccs.edu.
All right, I'm going to skip on down to the free groceries because that's an important subject. Food insecurity remains an issue throughout the Houston area, and there's registration for the Houston Food Bank's Community Health Market trailers, formerly known as the Eagle Food Market. That's happening at multiple HCC campuses. All HCC community members, everyone, faculty, staff, students, anyone is welcome. You can sign up to receive free groceries. Just pick a campus, a date, a time, and stop by to pick up your food. We'll have the email address in the social media post for the show. Check out laptops and hotspots. Students can now get those, Raquel.
Yes, HCC's public service librarians are continuing to check out free laptops and hotspots for an unlimited amount of time. Can I repeat it again? For an unlimited amount of time. So there's no excuse for not getting your work done. Thanks to the Rotaract Club, qualifying HCC students can go to library.hccs.edu/laptops again, and library.hccs.edu/hotspots. We will have those links in our post after the show for more information as well.
We were talking about registration. We have the registration fairs happening across the district. You can go back in person. They were very popular before COVID. Of course, everything went online, and now we're opening the campuses up again. We're fully open, folks. You can stop by a campus. We have some classes happening on campus in person, and we'll have many more in the fall as well. Summer is underway. You can still sign up for another summer session, and fall registration, it's wide open. 5 ways to learn: online anytime, online on a schedule. We also have 2 hybrid versions with some online and in-person instruction with the hybrid lab and hybrid courses. And finally, the in-person classes have returned. Those are face-to-face traditional classes on our campuses. Keep in mind, they are very small classes. You'll need to sign up ahead of time to get the class you want, the time you want, the campus, and the instructor. So because they're small classes, they obviously fill up very fast as far as the ones that are very popular. So make sure you go to the website, sign up now, and you can get signed up for the classes. One website for all your registration needs, hccs.edu/now. Okay, tomorrow on the show, looks like we've got someone from Stafford on here, Raquel.
Yes, we welcome back Roland Fields, who is amazing, of Stafford's Fab Lab, which is HCC's fabrication lab. And if you haven't been in that lab, you all, oh my God, it's a lab to see. You know how they say it's a sight to see? It's a lab to see. It's just top of the line. He will be conducting some community learning classes, giving a virtual tour of some cutting and invigorating tools. So we hope he might give us one as well. And it will be another Culinary Tuesday, which will feature Sparrow Cook Shop and longtime Houston chef Monica Pope. She has been at the helm of more Houston restaurants than we have time to name, but now she is doing vegetarian cooking classes, so you don't want to miss that as well.
That's going to be cool. Monica Pope has been around the Houston area for decades. She's an institution in Houston. She's owned several restaurants, so I'm looking forward to talking with her. And Roland, he pretty much knows everything about everything. Roland, if you haven't been to the Fab Lab, it's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but it's got 3D printing machines there. That's what it's like. Yes. And Roland is kind of like Willy Wonka himself. So you can think of him like the Gene Wilder character without the funky hair. That's Roland. So he'll be on the show tomorrow along with Monica Pope. So that should be both of them, Houston institutions, Roland and Monica as well.
Yes, that's exciting but you're right on point with the Willy Wonka and the Fab Factory. I should say
Fab Factory. There you go. All right. We're gonna wrap up the show for today. Raquel, we'll see you again next week. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, and I hope everyone has a great week.
Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow live 10 a.m. right here on Up to the Minute.